to the Elgato Stream Deck, a device to help you out when you are streaming on services like Twitch or YouTube Gaming. It starts shipping in May 2017, so as I'm recording this video, it's currently on pre-order. Quote, 15 LCD keys, poised to launch up to 210 actions, eliminating the need to map and memorize keyboard shortcuts. Close quote. This technology to me is very interesting. Imagine if this technology got into the hands of a company like Apple. What would they be able to make with this? Why Apple, I hear you typing down in the comments below. Well, hold your typing fingers real quickly and let me explain. For those of you who don't know, and I find out that this is a lot of people, if you're on a Mac device currently, look down. It doesn't matter if it's a MacBook, MacBook Pro, Mac Mini. If you're one of the two people with a Mac Pro, look down for me and tell me, what key do you find the most useless? Could it be the Option key? I grew up using Windows-based computers, so when I moved states and found myself at a high school that uses Macs, I was terrified. Like most Windows users, I criticized the Mac and Apple themselves. So when I got the Mac and I actually started using it, I was like, okay, but I noticed that the Option key didn't seem to do anything. Well, it actually does. If you are on a Mac watching this right now, I want you to open up a text program, Word, Pages, Text Edit, I don't care. Just open up a text program. It doesn't matter which one, and then hit Option R. Oh, wait a minute so you can do that. Alright, so what came up? Could it possibly be the restricted logo? The Option key gives you a whole new keyboard. I found this very useful, especially in my Spanish class, because I never had to switch over to the Spanish keyboard. Because all I had to do was have a text document on the side of my desktop that had a list of all the ones that I needed to know, and then whenever I was typing out papers, I could easily do that without having to switch keyboards. This is where the Stream Deck comes in. If Apple were to put LCD screens, or even OLED screens as they did with the Touch Bar and the Apple Watch, then imagine what they could do with it. Say you're in Pages and want to change the text format. You're changing from Helveticus to Arial Bold. If you change it in the preferences on the keyboard, the text changes as well. If you have a MacBook or a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air and stuff, and you travel a lot, you might to different countries like China, Japan, you might find yourself changing the keyboard a lot. Going up to the menu bar, click on American flag, change it to that country's flag. If you do this a lot, it would be a whole lot easier to type because you're typing a different language on an American keyboard. I know when I was doing that with the Spanish keyboard before I found out about the Option key, it was very confusing for me. This could get rid of that problem because you change it from American to, let's say, a Hungarian keyboard. Let's say, I don't even know if that's a keyboard, but I'm going to go with it. It changes the keys to how they have their keyboard laid out. With the Hungarian symbols or whatever, just go with it. You could find this to be very useful. Also, if you hold down the Shift key and or the Option key, you can hold down both. It changes the keyboard. So if you hold down Shift, all of a sudden the letters capitalize. Hold down Option, those lists of things happen. So you got like the Apple logo, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to symbols. You hold down Option Shift, you get those symbols. You get a whole bunch of more symbols that suddenly appear on the keyboard, which with the current keys that we have now, you just can't do that. If you're in a program like Photoshop or Pixelmator, you could have it set to where instead of having to memorize, like what Elgato said, instead of having to memorize shortcuts, it just shows it. So like the B key becomes a symbol for the brush. So you know, oh, duh, that's the key to use the brush. So you don't have to move the trackpad or the mouse to click on that key. If you're in a program like iMovie or Final Cut, you can see that, oh, hey, this key right here is to split a clip in half. This could even go up against Elgato's Stream Deck itself. You could say while you're live streaming, if you're using a program like OBS or some other live streaming program you use, when you're in the program, you can have a button, let's say R, I don't know what the shortcut does, I don't use that program. Say it's R. hit R suddenly becomes the generic recording symbol. So you hit that, and all of a sudden the keyboard changes again. So like T could be the Twitter logo, and you could hit that and it automatically tweets out that you're live. Amazing, right? Or you could, if you combine this screen keys things, which the touch bar, which is not a waste, boy, do you have a whole bunch of possibilities you can do. And of course you have the generic customization thing that everyone seems to be so fond of these days. Make it unique. You could change the text color, the background color. Heck, if you wanted to, you could change it to where you have a gradient, or you could even put a whole picture across the keyboard if you wanted to. It wouldn't look good, but you can do that. You hit down the keys, you could have it where it animates, like a ripple effect. Like every Razer keyboard that's ever existed for some reason. It's with the customization part that I would really rather see OLED. Maybe they could do it where like on the higher end models it's OLED, and on the cheaper models it's LCD, just because chances are this would not be cheap for them to do. I mean, heck, the Touch Bar Mac Pro already went up $1,000 just by taking out the function keys and putting in a touch bar. That's the concern that I would have right now, is can they do it to where it's easy to use? Like I said, the Elgato Stream Deck is not out yet, so we don't know how that thing feels. But if Apple can figure a way to put an OLED or an LCD screen on their 3rd gen Beuhlig keyboard, I think it could be one of the best keyboards out there, if not the best. I have used the 1st generation one. It was only when I went to an Apple store I played around with it a little bit. I've not used the 2nd gen one at all. But I did really like the 1st gen keyboard. I did really think it was probably the best keyboard I've ever used for that short period of time. So, what do you think? I'd be interested to know what you think down there. Just let me know if would you do this? And do you think a company like Google or Microsoft or even heck Razer, another company, could do a better job than Apple? Personally, I think Apple could do a really good job with this. I would be very interested to see what they can do with this technology. See you next time.